back to Critical Flick. Today we're going to be talking about Ready Player One.
So, as you probably know by now, Ready Player One is directed by the legendary director Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg has made some of the most iconic movies of all time, some of the most recognizable franchises and properties ever existed. And you can tell that he was really pushing those movies in this movie. So the movie revolves around a young guy named Wade Watts, and it takes place in the year 2045, so it's the not too far future, but basically there's overpopulation, the world's kind of like in this dystopian, like not great time, so people are trying to escape, and the way that they do that is they go into the Oasis, this virtual reality world, and this movie is about Wade trying to win this competition to win the rights of the Oasis and be basically the most powerful person essentially in the world, taking over for the former creator.
So let's talk about the special effects in this movie. This movie is probably, I'd say 75% CGI, and I was not expecting that actually. I thought it was going to be like kind of 50-50, and it is thrown at you. There are some scenes that I could tell were filmed for 3D, so if you're really into 3D, this is like the movie for you, because there's a lot of first person, like it reminded me of a Universal ride, if you've ever been on any of those rides.
Yeah, I actually really like that about this movie. I didn't know either that the movie was going to be so CG heavy. I knew they went into virtual reality, so that part was going to be CG. But I would say there's more time spent in the Oasis than outside of the Oasis, which I liked because I enjoyed the parts in the Oasis more than outside of it. And I thought the CG looked really good. I really enjoyed it because essentially when they're in the Oasis, it's an animated movie. So it's different than mixing CG with the real world, which doesn't always look great.
Drinking game alert. Anytime we say Oasis, or you go see the movie and see Oasis. That's all. Let's hear it.
See, I don't care because the movie, they say Oasis a lot, but that is literally the main focus of the movie is the Oasis.
The Oasis.
It's like a movie about the internet, but they don't say we're going into the internet. But I mean, I didn't have a problem with that.
The Oasis. I thought the acting was pretty subpar, to be honest. It moved the story along, and they were there, but nobody really caught my eye in the film.
So Tye Sheridan, who plays Wade in the movie, he's the main character in the movie. I thought he was fine. I thought he's one of those characters that's kind of lost into what the movie itself is. He's not a very standout character. There's not a ton of development going on with him. He's pretty one-note throughout the film. But I thought that Olivia Cooke playing the kind of love interest sidekick character to him was really good. I thought she was a really interesting character, and she was more dynamic than he was. But at the end of the day, like she said, a lot of these characters they're kind of like washout characters that are in the film. But the overall narrative was the interesting part about the movie to me, not necessarily the characters.
And the villain is just your average villain. I'm a businessman, want to take it over. Like, there's no depth.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn is the bad guy in this movie, and he literally reminded me of the bad guy from the Lego movie. And he's like the same thing. But the thing about it is, like I said, it's kind of a basic story that's built around this very interesting framework and incredible visual effects and a lot of nostalgia in this movie.
Yeah, it is exploding on screen. There's every which way you turn, you'll see a Halo character, the Iron Giant, to Batman. It is literally all over.
I loved it. Okay, I'm going to say, some people have that as a knock on the movie. I love nostalgia. That's one of the reasons I love Stranger Things. I love a lot of these movies that harken back to your childhood, and this movie hits you right in the heart with so many 90s and 80s and early 2000s pop culture references. There's even a part in the movie where they go into another movie, and it's like a very iconic movie, and they recreated set pieces from a very iconic movie, and I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the movie.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Didn't have a problem with the nostalgia part of the film. My problem was literally the story, and it felt so long. It's like 2 hours and 19 minutes, and should have been cut down just like a wee bit, because some parts is dragged a little bit for me.
I'll admit that it is a long movie. You're not going to have a movie that's over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours long. It's not going to feel long. But I thought there was a lot of really good action in it, and a lot of, not that the comedy always worked, but there was enough comedy and action in it that I never felt bored. I never thought that this movie was like, oh my god, can you just end already? But there were some really, really, really awesome action scenes, in my opinion. Especially there's like a fight towards the end of the film, like a large battle. You see it in the trailer, where you're seeing all these really awesome characters popping. You have a Gundam that you saw. You have, Chucky, Iron Giant. There's, they're just throwing everything at you in that last scene, and I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. It's just a really fun movie, in my opinion.
I thought it was just mediocre. I thought the CG was good, and the story again was lacking for me, and that time it just was too long for me. It it didn't need to be that long, and there's like 5 different endings, and I'm just like, when is it going to end? And I don't know. I didn't read the book, so...
Yeah, we can't compare it to the book. We didn't read the book, but I really liked it as a standalone film, not comparing it to the book. It is fairly surface level as a film, but I thought it was a lot of fun, very visually pleasing, very well made. I mean, it's Steven Spielberg. He doesn't really make terribly made movies. And yeah, I really liked it. More than I thought I would like it. I really enjoyed it.
The last thing I just want to touch on real quick is the score. It's not the music that they're using for pop culture references.
80s rock music, which
Don't
is
have a problem
awesome.
with that. I have a problem with like the instrumental score part of the film. It's too whimsical for that movie, and I thought it was like a little off it sometimes.
Yeah, that's like, speaking of that, kind of like rolls into tone of the film. It did get, especially towards the end of the film, very Disney-esque, Steven Spielberg, like happy kind of stuff, which is fine. I mean, it makes the movie a little more fun, enjoyable, but I like my movies a little darker, and there was some slightly darker moments in the movie, but overall it's a very light, very family-friendly film, but this has some light cursing in it, which I was kind of surprised by. I noticed there was an F-bomb, and there was a couple...
It's PG-13.
Yeah, but I mean, usually, this kind of movie...
It's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, well, still, that kind of surprised me.
Alright, so... I would give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. You know, it's pretty good. Go see it in the theater. It has a lot of visual effects and everything. I did find the story lacking. I thought it was too long. And it's just the characters that none of them really, like, touched my heart or anything.
So, I really enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would. And I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. I think it is the most fun movie I've seen in a long time. And it worked well enough to be fun, visually pleasing, enough story there, enough heartfelt stuff there, that it wasn't just a pure mindless fun popcorn movie. It was very well made, Steven Spielberg obviously, decent enough acted, incredible visuals, and the nostalgia. It's fantastic nostalgia. I loved it.
Alrighty, so that sums up our review of Ready Player One. Let us know in the comments what you thought as well. Like and subscribe. We always appreciate your support, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye!